So welcome back, my boys. And here we are, as you can plainly see, at March 25th, a game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we are 43-28 on the year. 4th in our conference, 6th in the NBA power rankings, the entire NBA. We, right now, are sitting as the 6th most, impressive team on the season. And that is a big, big deal for the Louisville Badgers, who we're coming off a season where we were a play-in team, my boys. A play-in team. But what I'm going to do in this episode is we are going to simulate all the way up to the April 11th game. Obviously, the goal is 6th seed or better. Right now, that's the goal. So, like I said, April 11th is the game that we're going to play against the Chicago Bulls. We are going to start simulating right now, starting with this game against Minnesota. That will be in Minnesota. Let's see what we get. And we get a W, baby. A 1-point win. Let's take a look. Hardy party. This was kind of a team effort. You know what I mean? Nobody really took over. 18-4-7 for Hardy. Holland had a great game with 14 rebounds. Grady, same thing. Collier, good game. 3 steals is awesome. You love to see that. Anthony Edwards with 33, 3-1. Garway Dual, man. I'm impressed by what this guy has done in our universe. Siobhan Wallace, Patrick Vince, the newly acquired Patrick Vince. Next up, we got the Washington Wizards, March 26th. As you can see, man, we're going for 50 wins, and we got the W from what I can see. A high-scoring game, but we have an injury. Marcus Smart, bruised left hip, 2 to 4 weeks. Let's go ahead and adjust that, man. All these guys are tired, too. We're going to have to do some load management here. Let's see what we want to do. All right, so I'm throwing McClung in for 15 minutes per game. And like I said, we're going to bump down some of these minutes a little bit here just to get guys, do some load management, get them back to, feeling fresh, not fatigued and all that. And we'll bump up the minutes for Wayne. Grady definitely deserves some more minutes. Ace Bailey will continue to give him more minutes. So I think we'll run it like that and we'll be fine. But we beat them by 22 points, my boys. Kyle Kuzma had 23. They had 4 guys with 20 or more points in this game. Sar Arenas. The former Badger, Josh Christopher, actually had a good game, but we took the dub, as you can see, leading the way. Our boy Grady, man, what an 8 for 12 from 3 is absolutely insane. Jaden Hardy, 22. We also had 4 guys in double with 20 points or more, and 8 guys in double figures. Everybody that scored a bucket was in double figures in this one for us. Next up, the Clippers, and this is not the Clippers that you know from real life. Let's see what we can get here. And we continue the winning streak, man. That's 4 in a row, beating them by 3. Hardy Party and Holland both with 27 apiece. Carmichael with a nice double-double. Trey J had a good game. Collier, a double-double himself like he always does with the assists. And then, of course, over for the Clippers, man, Kyrie putting up 40. Former Badger Aaron Nesmith putting up 22. Kawhi, Kawhi's getting up there in age, so you can understand. They got Reed Shepherd on that team, too. They're set up a little bit, Let's keep that win streak going, my boys. Brooklyn at 13-62. This is a team that we should beat. We should beat this team. Let's see what we get. And another humongous W, 47. We beat them by 47 points. Like how? Jaden Hardy, Koa Pete, Jaren Jackson leading the way. My concern here is what happened in Brooklyn. I mean, what's going on over there that they are this bad? Koa Pete, 21 points in 15 minutes is crazy. Siakam with 16, just no efficiency whatsoever. Jack Thornton, Cam Johnson, Wiseman, Prosper Hale. They've also got Darius Baisley. They need to figure something out over there. Like, they really, really do. Because I know they got Dalton Connect, but he's injured right now. They need to get something going. Next up, Miami on April Fool's Day. But hey, we ain't fooling around over here as we take the dub, baby. Keeping the win streak going, 13-point win as Tyler Hero leading the way for Miami, but it wasn't going to be enough against your Louisville Badgers. They've also got Liam McNeely, DeJounte Murray. Jimmy Butler, bro. Man, that's a rough game for Jimmy Butler. But taking a look over at us, man, Ronnie Holland with 23-8. He had 3 blocks in this one. Hardy Party with 19. 18 and 18 for Carmichael and Grady. Just a Badgers game all the way around, man. We had this thing in hand, pretty well in hand. But one of the things that I want to do real quick, let's go ahead and change up real fast. I want to see what will happen if I take Mac out of the rotation and throw Keyshawn Jones in there. I think that he deserves to get some playing time. There's a reason why he was such a highly touted prospect. All right, we're going to run it like that. We got the Lakers up next. We're 19-57. 2 wins away from 50 as we take another dub and a hyperextension of the left knee for Collier, my boys. Oh, that hurts. We got to be careful with him. All right, I'm definitely going to go easy with Collier because I do not want that getting re-aggravated. We are going to definitely take him out. What I'm going to do is run it with Hardy and Grady for the backcourt. And, then everything else is pretty standard after that, except I have Ace Bailey as the sixth man, Koa Pete, Mac McClung, Keyshawn Jones, and Andre Drummond. So we'll run it like that, but we beat the Lakers by 15 in that game, man. And Austin Reeves, and then this Mahaney kid, man, he came up from the G League and in 14 minutes scored 20 points. He seems like he's actually kind of a beast, but they're not really utilizing him that much. Harden, Anthony Davis, Rui, Paul Ham and Ming O'Neal getting 21 and 27 minutes. They need to play their young guys more and see what they got over there because things are just not working out. But Hardy, man, 33. Grady with 24, out of the starting lineup. He was 6 of 12 from downtown, bro. Our three-point efficiency is insane. Wayne with a double-double. You love to see that. But let's take a look real quick as we close in on 50 wins where we stand. And look at that. Look at that. Look at it. We have clinched a full-blown playoff berth. No play-in tournament, none of that. Full-blown playoffs, my boys. That means that we are going to be, one of the 6 teams that does not have to mess around with play-in stuff. But as of right now, it's us, Cleveland, the Knicks, and the Magic, who have all clinched a full-blown playoff berth. Then the Pistons, the Bucks, and the Celtics have all at least clinched the play-in. Then you got Philly, Miami, and Indiana kind of battling it out. It looks like Chicago is right there with them, though. Like, it could be Indiana. It could be Chicago. It really could be any of these teams. Washington, statistically, certainly not out of it. Same with Toronto. You know what I mean? These teams could sneak their way in. I don't think Charlotte is really in it anymore. As far as, I guess technically, mathematically they are. But really, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a close one to see who gets that 10th spot in the play-in tournament or the 9th and 10th spot, really, because, you don't know what's going to happen with any of these teams toward the end of the year. And then look over in the West, man. Houston just keeps on rolling, man. They just keep on rolling along, and now they are tied for first with New Orleans. The Pelicans, the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Mavericks, and the Jazz have all clinched a playoff spot. But look at the drop-off from 6 to 7. Bro, nobody has clinched a play-in spot yet. It's the Spurs, the Kings, the Trailblazers, and the Clippers all kind of fighting for a spot here, from 7 to 10. And then Phoenix, of course, they're still in the mix. Seattle, again, mathematically, still definitely in the mix. They could make a run at it. And, but just looking over this list here, I'd be surprised if it wasn't like the Clippers and the Suns. Minnesota, still, again, mathematically in it, but technically, I would say, in my heart, I don't feel like they're in it, honestly. But looking at the top of the West, man, it is top heavy. 49 wins. We are going for 50 against the Grizzlies without Ja Morant. I like our chances. They're 29 and 49. Let's see what we get. Bang! 19-point win. We hand them their 50th loss and our 50th win of the year. Bro, we are rolling right now with the win streak. Ron Holland with 33, 7-3, had 2 blocks. Hardy with 26, man. Just a typical Badgers game with Hardy, Party, and Holland doing their thing as usual. And then over in, on Memphis side, it's Desmond Bane, still a bucket, man. Cameron Boozer having one of the better rookie seasons we've ever seen, in the NBA. Mikal Bridges, Dom Gomez, Corey Haggerty, Ahmad Bradshaw. They've actually got a decent team. BJ Bailey, they just got to put it all together at this point. But, man, 50 wins, my boys, 50. I can't even begin to explain how proud I am of this team. As you see, Utah is going for their 50th win of the year, but we are on a big win streak right now. Collier is fully healed. Okay, like I said, we'll ease him back, and we take another dub, baby. 15-point win against a very good Jazz team. And look at that. We are on a 9-game win streak right now. 9-game win streak. As you see, D'Lo put up 28 against us. Cooper Flagg with a 20-point double-double. Keldon Johnson, Donnie McBride. That's a good team over there, man. Eric Garcia, Calvin McLeod, Tyus Kane, They have it. And then Lowry didn't even do anything, and they still kept it, relatively respectable, I guess. Ron Holland with 23, Hardy with 21, Wayne, 17 points. He had 2 blocks. Koa Pete had 2 blocks, man. Jaren Jackson had 3, but very, very, not very efficient from the field, but not a big deal. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that he does, you don't always see it showing up in the box score, man. He's a menace defensively, but 9 games. We have won our last 9 games since that huge OT win against the New Orleans Pelicans. And now that we've got our boy Collier back, I'm going to put him back in the lineup, but I'm going to, like I said before, I'm going to ease him back in. Maybe 24, 25 minutes, something like that. We're not going to go, all out and give him like 30 plus or anything, but do want to get him, back in the swing of things to keep him warm, because the playoffs are right around the corner, my boys, and we got to keep our guys, on their toes and ready. All right, so 25 is what it's recommending. So we're just going to go with that. And then, Hardy at 34, Holland at 33, everything else pretty standard. Grady back to being the 6th man. Let's see if we can keep the win streak going against Orlando. And we do, a 12-point win against a very tough Magic team. I'm telling you, we might end the season by just winning out. Holland, 30, Hardy, 27, Ace, 22, Ace Bailey, 22 points in 23 minutes. He's right back to being on fire again. 10-game winning streak. We have one more game to sim before the Bulls game. I have no intentions on losing this one last game against the Magic, as we have to go to Orlando for this one. First one was in Louisville. Let's see. Can we make it 11? They had to rain on our parade, boys. They had to rain on our parade. But it's okay. It's okay. We are still on fire. A 17-point loss. Like I said, very tough Orlando team, man. Very, very tough team. Not a team to be taken lightly, man. Paolo and Jacoby Walter both putting up 30+. Jet Howard, Jalen Duren. That's a talented team and a scary team as well. That's one of those teams, again, you don't want... I mean, they're not even playing Daniel Gafford. Isaiah Jackson over Daniel Gafford. I respect it. I respected Orlando, like, for real. But you know what I mean? Taking a look over at the Badgers. Collier, after having a 1-for-8 game, his first game back out, from injury, he bounces right back. 8 of 11, 24 points to lead the way with 9 assists, 21 for Hardy. Ace Bailey still doing his thing, man. Just a great all-around game, but we couldn't get it done. However, having won 10 of our last 11, I like the way we feel going into this last game of the year against the Bulls. 10 of 11, my boys. Again, here we are. April 11th. This is the game that we're going to be playing. However, let's take a look around the NBA first, because you all know that once we play that game, as soon as we get to the end of the game and it's over, it's just going to kick us straight into the playoff bracket and all that. We won't really get to go back and look at some of this stuff. So, taking a look at the playoff picture, there's only 5 teams right now. That 6th spot is still wide open, and as it stands, from the looks of things, if we win and if we lose and the Knicks win, the Knicks hold the tiebreaker against us. And that means that there's a possibility we could be playing Boston in the first round, 3 versus 6. Let me just tell you right now, I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. Like, obviously we're not going to be playing, I don't think we'll be playing Detroit, because with 1 game left, it's just not possible for them to hit, 6 or 7. But, man, looking at the teams that we could play if we were 2 or 3, it's scary, man. Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia. So it turns out the Bulls game not going to be as meaningful as I would have hoped. Obviously, there's going to be some implications as far as seeding is concerned, but they've already locked it up. Indiana no longer in the picture. The Chicago Bulls will be in the play-in tournament, but we're going to be fighting for either the 2 or the 3 seed at this point. We have to win this game. We control our own destiny at this moment. But over in the West, man, New Orleans sniffing 60 wins on the season. Houston right behind them. And it looks like I said, the top 6 teams, they just separated themselves from the play-in teams. And it's still going to be between the Clippers, the Supersonics, and I believe the Suns, right? If the Suns win and the Clippers and Supersonics lose, I do think that mathematically, depending on who holds tiebreakers and all that, Phoenix could still be in the picture here. But it looks to me like it's either going to be the Clippers or the Supersonics. And it would be kind of cool if it was the Supersonics, I'm not going to lie. Now, when you look at this schedule and you see that we won 10 of our last 11 games, I want to show you guys something real fast, okay? Just so you see this is not a fluke. For most of the season, I had this simulator difficulty at between 70 and 75, and it's been 75 since like around the All-Star break. As you can see, man, I always bump this up because I feel like 2K favors the user team in the sim. So you have two choices. You either control every team or you bump up simulator difficulty, which is what I opted to do. I went for that. So as you can see, man, that 10-game winning streak, that was not a fluke. We are really winning these games. Straight up winning these games, and we're doing it on talent alone, and we are on fire right now. This team is on fire. You boys should be proud because you helped build it. But I just wanted to mention this for those of you who are not in the Discord that do not know. This coming off season, we are going to have several guys that are going to be controlling teams. I have guys in the community that are going to be taking over as GM of certain teams. Most of them are expansion teams or, you know, the ones that already exist or that will be added. But some of them are real NBA teams. So we already know Chicago is in there like swimwear, even at 38-43. As you can see, they're 38-43 on the year. 5 games under 500. They have still clinched at least the 10th spot. I think that mathematically they could, you know, get the 9th spot if they win and, you know, whoever else loses. But let's take a look, though, real fast at some of the stats. Toppage, bro. This guy has to be, you know, in the running for most improved this season. 31, 2, and 8 is just crazy. Over a steal per game, man. That's an MVP season. Brandon Miller, same thing, man. Great year, 30.6. Luka, almost a triple-double. Victor Wembanyama, almost 30 points a game. Cade, doing Cade Cunningham things, man. 28.5, 6.5, over a steal a game. Almost a block per game for a guard. It's crazy. You can see why Detroit is fifth in the East right now. Kyrie, his first season in LA, a great one. 28 points per game is just phenomenal. You know, and he's really the reason that they're even fighting for a play-in spot right now. Paolo Banchero, man, led his team to what would be almost about 50 wins. I didn't get to see it yet, but 28, 8, and 4. Just a great season for him as well. Cam Thomas ended up going over to Dallas trying to replace Kyrie, and I think he's done a damn good job of that. 27.5 points a game. You'll take that, and then here you go. Here you go, my boys. Hardy Party. This has to be all NBA numbers, right? 27, 4, and 5. 27, 4.5, 5.5. You know, his defense isn't great. Not saying he's going to be making all defensive teams, but the boy is a bucket. He is a bucket. The heart and soul of this team, 27 points per game, top 10 in the NBA in scoring, and I think one of the best, if not the best, in three-point percentage this year. Kuminga, same numbers, 27.3. You know, a little more in rebounds, a little less in assists, but similar numbers over there in New York for Kuminga. Donovan Mitchell, 27 points a game. You can see, man, with that big three, why Cleveland is as good as they are. De'Aaron Fox, who always gets slept on, had a great year as well. Scoot, really coming into his own. Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum. I don't even want to talk about Tatum. Steph Curry at 39 years of age, still putting up Steph Curry numbers, man. Giannis, a guy who we could see in the playoffs. Beast numbers, once again, even with Dame Lillard on the team, he's still putting up 26 per game, 11 boards. Just crazy defensive numbers. Tyrese Maxey, another guy that might be, you know, on the path for us. 25.5 per game. Just having a great season all the way around. And you knew, you know, at least I feel like we should have known that Maxey was going to be a beast. SGA, another guy who will be battling for MVPs in the near future, you know, in our universe and in real life. 25.5 and 10 assists, 5 rebounds a game is phenomenal. A steal and a half per game. Dude is just an absolute goon. Darius Garland, another part of that big three in Cleveland. 25 a game, 9 assists. Some of these guys are just absolutely out of their mind with the assists. They're dimers. Jokic, almost, you know, not too far off of averaging a triple-double again. Spent some of the season injured, you know, a little bit. Zion finally had a healthy year, man, and he put up good numbers. Put up good enough numbers. Very efficient as well. Talking about a guy that, you know, over 66% from the field. Josh Giddey, you know, part of the reason why Seattle is fighting for a play-in spot over in the West. As you can see, he's been just getting better and better every year. and that continues over in Seattle. Jalen Green, kind of a polarizing guy, Jalen Green. You don't really know what he'll be in real life, but we know he's a scorer. He's been that since he was young, man. Straight out of high school, kid is a beast. He's a stud. And, he's part of the reason, a big part of the reason why Houston is as good as they are over in the West. John Morant, who was injured recently, but, still, I mean, look at the numbers, man. 24 and a half, over 6 rebounds, over 9 assists per game. Decent defensively. He's definitely a menace with the steals. Just a great season. Halliburton, even with Topic being as crazy good as he is, you know what I mean? Halliburton still getting over 10 assists per game, and I'm guaranteeing you a lot of those are going to Nikola Topic. JB, a good season. Evan Mobley, another one of those, big three in Cleveland. Devin Booker on a team that probably won't even make the playoffs, and then we'll just stop it at top 30, man. Dame Lillard, another guy who could be in our near future. I'm hoping not, man. I don't even know whether I'd rather see them or the Sixers, to be perfectly honest with you. But let's take a quick look at your Louisville Badgers. You know most of these numbers already, but we'll just take a quick look, man, and I'm telling you, Hardy Party, it's just, I'm speechless at the type of season he had. Just speechless. He's phenomenal, bro. He is, like I said, he is the backbone of this team, and he is such a great leader in every way, shape, and form. Ronnie Holland right behind him. Ronnie Holland has just been, so consistent year over year for us, and he's still so young. Same with Grady, man. He's the leader of our second unit. I feel like I need to do a little bit better with getting him more involved in the game plan, but that will come. We got time, unless he walks this season, which is this off season, which is very possible, because, we're not going to have a lot of money to spend this off season. Carmichael, definitely got to be in the running for Rookie of the Year. I know that guys like Boozer and a couple of these other guys are going to be, probably ahead of him, but I mean, he's had just a phenomenal rookie season. Look at them numbers. 2 blocks a game is crazy. Almost 10 boards. Jaren Jackson came in. I kind of expected him to be more of a two-way guy in the sense he'd give us the defense that he's been giving us and also give us maybe 15, 16 points a game. But 13, 6, 1, and over a steal and almost 2 blocks a game, bro, I'm taking that. Not very efficient. I would like the field goal percentage to go up. But again, his first year in a new uniform, and, he had to get acclimated. And I think, in time, he will be perfectly fine, and he will help this team get to where we're trying to get. Collier dealt with injuries throughout the season. He's definitely had a few of them, but you can't argue with the playmaking of this guy, man. 9.3 assists per game. He is an absolute stud. Ace Bailey, a guy who I think is emerging as one of the better players on the team. And I just want to just continue to see the growth of the 20-year-old Ace Bailey. Again, I'm going to keep on bumping his minutes up. I think he's going to be a big, big part of this playoff run. Mac McClung, obviously we traded for Naz Reid about halfway through the year. But Mac McClung, man, we got him for the last, 10 games or so. A few weeks ago, signed him to a contract, 2-way deal. And he's been very effective. I mean, you're talking about 17 minutes a game to put up 8, 2.5 and 4. I'll take that all day from a guy who's only getting about 17 minutes a game. Koa Pete, great rookie season for a guy who really was not featured on this team. He was quietly fantastic for us. Absolutely fantastic in my eyes. And then just looking at the rest of the guys here, man, Keyshawn, he was a highly touted draft pick, coming out of college, and he has shown flashes of a guy who, if we are not able to re-sign a guy like Grady or something like that, Keyshawn could absolutely step up into that role off the bench and be instant offense for us. Marcus Smart, I can't call him disappointing because honestly, I brought him in to be a veteran mentor, locker room guy, and a guy who can play defense, on a high level. And he's done those things for us. He's not a scorer for us. And I was hoping that he maybe would be a little bit better, with the scoring, but he hasn't been, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. We're okay with that. Same with Andre Drummond. He was brought in to be a mentor, and he's done that perfectly for us. Come in, rebound when we need him to, and mentor the younger guys, and show them the ropes, show them what it's all about to win or to be successful in this league, which he hasn't done on a team level, but on a personal level, man. Drummond has been a beast at times in his career. And then Devin Lassane, some of these guys at the bottom here, have had G League minutes. And Devin Lassane has been fantastic in the G League, but he's pissed off at us right now. Matisse was brought in to, his role should have been a lot more than what it was, but it's a friendly contract, and it's like, I'm not mad at this either. I am, however, going to be starting him, or at least giving him significant minutes off the bench in the last game of the year against the Bulls. And then Kamara, he's fine. I mean, he's only uncertain, even though he's been playing a lot of G League minutes and stuff like that. He's another guy who's just a reserve. He's would become part of the rotation in the event of injuries and stuff like that. But he's got talent, so he deserves to be on the roster, and he's doing decent in the G League as well. But there it is, my boys. We have made our way up to the final game of the season, finally. We have made it. Feels like it's been a long time, actually, since we started this season, but we are finally here. Once this game is done, we will know where we sit in the playoffs. That's all that matters. Where do we end up in that bracket? We don't know who it's going to be yet. We just know that because of the way the regular season is played out, it's going to be one hell of a tough team, and it's not going to be fun. Because right now it's looking like Boston, Milwaukee, Philly. Bro, it's not going to be fun at all. What I will say, though, is that wherever we end up, if it's a play-in tournament team that we're going to be going against, we'll watch the game. Maybe I'll live stream it, and we'll watch it together and, just watch it play out, CPU versus CPU, see how it goes, because I think that'd be kind of fun. If that's something you guys want to see, definitely comment and let me know that. But I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. I meant to bring this up earlier to you guys. I'm breaking this into 2 parts just so it's not too long. I want, just in case the Bulls game is, kind of if it's a good game, I don't want to have to, cut it way down, and I wanted to be able to show you guys this, all play out toward the end of the year here, simulate all through these games, look through the stats, look around the NBA, and kind of take the temperature, see what things are looking like, especially going into a postseason where we're an important team. We are going to be somewhere around the 2nd or 3rd seed. Bro, we are at the top of the East right now, or close to it. And I got to admit, because of how realistic we do this, this is not one of those things where you're just like, oh yeah, each year we'll progress, and of course at some point we'll get, no. Because of how realistic this is all set up, there is a possibility in any of these series that we may never make it deep into a playoff, run. And to be perfectly honest with you, in my mind, unless we really put things together, there's a possibility that we never make it to a finals, let alone win one. You know what I'm saying? But I have a lot of faith in this team and how they're developing. We're going to have to put out a lot of money pretty soon here, and hopefully we can retain some of these very talented young players. But obviously, just like real life, we can't keep everybody because we just don't have the money for it. So we got some big decisions to be made in the near future. However, all that matters is right now. If we lose, New York wins, they hold the tiebreaker. So we would be bumped to 3rd automatically at that point. But I'm going to go ahead and end the first part of this because I am antsy to go in and play this game against the Chicago Bulls right now. I know there's a few of you guys that have players and a vested interest in this game, and I cannot wait for you guys to be able to see that. So I'm going to go ahead and play it right this minute so that I can post it ASAP for you boys. But again, as always, thank you so much for being here for yet another one. We won 10 of 11, man. Went on a 10-game win streak. That is a good stretch to go into the playoffs to feel good about ourselves with. Then we just ride the momentum of that point, my boys. We ride that wave of momentum straight on past the first round. And then who knows, if we could catch lightning in a bottle, maybe win in the first round and somehow end up pulling it out in the second round and find ourselves in an Eastern Conference. Bro, you never know what could happen. But anyway, let me not speculate too much and jinx anything. Let's get straight into the second part of this where we play the Bulls. Thank you boys so much once again for being here for yet another one. If you're not subscribed, join us on this journey. It's a perfect time because we're heading straight into the postseason. We will be back very, very soon with the Bulls game. I'll catch you boys in the next one.